ain't shit. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
Well, fans can be the harshest critics, you know.
And they often are.
A wife is often the harshest critic of her husband.
I thought I was invincible. That's what you're trained to believe as a sports person.
There was 4 million people in Ireland who knew much more about managing football teams than I did. When it comes to music, I can spoof with the best.
Your sporting career is the best time you'll have, and you know you have to hang on to it for as long as you like, because everything else is pretty crappy.
And this is not lies. Stephen Rothschild has never spoken to Jim McGuinness in his life.
And you're welcome back to Off the Ball Saturday here on News Talk. John Duggan with you through until 5 o'clock. You can text us 53106. We're streaming the conversation as well now, so as well as listening on News Talk, you can watch us on the social channels for Off the Ball, for Periscope on Twitter at Off the Ball, YouTube, Facebook, and on the new OTB Sports app. Search OTB Sports in your app store now to download it if you haven't already. This is the Saturday panel. So last year, Cheltenham, the lightning rod for people's anger and fear at the start of the pandemic, a health crisis none of us have experienced in our lifetimes. This year, like all of the sports, the festival, behind closed doors, it starts on Tuesday. This is the greatest show on turf. Over decades, the achievements of jockeys and trainers, and most importantly, the horse, has made Ireland proud. Think of Arkle, Don Run, Istabrack, all those great days, all those special races. So let's hope Cheltenham 2021 brings us these storylines. Tipperary's Rachel Blackmore has got the favourite in the champion hurdle. She's riding Honeysuckle. She's also got a great ride in the Gold Cup. We've got the likes of Album Photo going for a hat-trick of Gold Cups for William Mullins. That hasn't been achieved by an Irish horse since Arkle in 1966. Mick Winters, the colourful trainer from Cork, bidding for a first festival winner as a trainer. So to look ahead on our special Cheltenham preview over the next hour, we're delighted to be joined by Gold Cup, champion hurdle and champion chase winning jockey from Meath, Barry Geraghty, a member of a racing dynasty from Kildare, Katie Walsh, a 3-time festival winner as a jockey and the winner of the Irish Grand National, and the man we're trying to take our money off next week, obviously responsibly, Paddy Power. Barry, Katie and Paddy, you're all very welcome to the show. And Barry, a year ago you rode 5 Cheltenham winners, then you hung up the silks, you retired. What are you missing? What are you not missing?
It's very much a change of pace. I thought I'd missed it more, to be honest. Now, if I was to load up and go to England for a weekend or for a few days races, I think these would be the few days you'd want to go more than any. But no, I haven't put in the hard graft for the last 51 weeks, so I don't really feel I deserve a week in Cheltenham. But it's, I'm kind of surprised. I thought I'd miss it more, but I suppose when you're doing it so long, and you get off the treadmill and you take a relaxed approach to life, you kind of it sits comfortably.
Absolutely, Barry. And it's going to be a great week ahead. An unusual time, Paddy, to be a bookie. Nobody going over to Cheltenham. No shops open. The pubs are shut. So people will be watching this at home now on their TV for the next week. And obviously the message to give out there is to gamble responsibly.
100%, yeah. I mean, look, you know yourself, when it comes to Cheltenham, it's a long L week, as it is every year, and this year will be no different. There'll be no crowds and no hooping and hollering and paddy whackery with people coming in after riding winners, walking down the chute, and it seemed to take an age to get to the winners' enclosure. That'll be all weird, but nonetheless, a winner's a winner. But like you said, you should do a budget, and all the boring stuff is important, so make sure you do all that stuff too.
Paddy, when was your first? I was speaking to you off tube here, and we were talking that we've both probably been to Cheltenham for 2 decades. What was your first Cheltenham? What are your memories of the festival? There was a movie called Blade Runner, and Rutger Hauer, the character he played, he said, "I've seen things you people wouldn't believe." And obviously, this is a family show, Paddy, but I'm sure you've seen your fair share of things down through the years.
I have, yeah, to be fair. And actually, it's Barry Geraghty. It's probably his fault that I've been such a Cheltenham addict, if you like. My first Cheltenham, I was always working in inverted commas when I was over there. Jesus, the amount of work I didn't do, I'll tell you, especially in the early years, and the amount of sleep I didn't get. But anyway, it was Barry's Moscow Flyers' first Queen Mother. That was my first year, 19 years ago, and I hadn't missed it since until this year, obviously. And I just remember, I'd always watched it, and I was always working, but even when I was a kid, so my dad was a bookie as well, and like he'd go off to Cheltenham, we'd be watching it and all that kind of stuff. So I was always into it, you know. But just being there for the first time and the word that keeps coming to my head is paddy whackery. It was just mental. It was mayhem. It was such good crack. Like, it seemed like anything went. There was like when the likes of Moscow Flyer, an Irish winner at that stage was rare enough, and you see there's racing posts flying up in the air and hats and the whole shebang, and you know you've studied for months and months and months, and you know exactly what you're going to back in whatever races, and then you meet someone in the jacks and you completely change your mind because some fella tells you, "I met such and such, you said such and such," and it's just mad. It really is madness. It's like stepping onto another planet, a parallel universe. and it's a kind of a bubble you get stuck in, and there's that depression when you're coming home that you know it's all over for another year. Now that's partly down to probably the hard living while you're over there too, but it's a special occasion. It's as a sporting event. Like I heard Hector describing it on his podcast, and it was like poetry the way he described it. It's some very choice language, mind you, but it's like big sporting events rolled into one, because everyone there just looks forward to it for so long. I mean, I always thought I'd go over working, but a load of my friends would go over as well. And the wives and the girlfriends at the time be kind of going, what are you lads up to over there? And I was here, if they could only come and just see how boring it really is when you step back and look at it. We talk rubbish about horses morning, noon and night, and drink pints of Guinness, and that's it. And it's like that. It's a proper, I don't know, it's a funny old place, but it's brilliant.
Katie, good afternoon. When you're at Cheltenham, when you're working, when you're riding horses, you've ridden 3 Cheltenham winners, Poker de Civil, 1,000 Stars, Relegate. Do you get a chance to enjoy yourself, or is it all business?
Oh yeah, you definitely, absolutely. Cheltenham is of course it's business. I actually remember going over to ride 1,000 Stars. Well, I didn't even know I was riding him, or Poker de Civil, when I first went over, and I was in Navan on the Sunday, which would be the meeting today actually, and I was riding on the bumper, and I said, try put my gear in. I was going over anyway to ride out for Willie and help out, and I said I put my gear in anyway just in case. And I was on the way to the airport, and Freddie Murphy rang me and said, would you ride Poker de Savola in the 4 mile? I said, geez, absolutely love to, yeah. So that was the Wednesday. So I gave him a canter on the Wednesday morning, and lo and behold, he won, which was something I thought would never happen. It was unbelievable. And there was a whole host of people over there. All of my family were there, and I didn't think I'd another ride for the rest of the week. And all of my friends were there, and we all went out, ended up in the 21 club. It was absolutely brilliant. It was a time I'll never forget. And then I was riding out the next morning, and Willie said to me, would you like to ride 1,000 Stars tomorrow in the county hurdle? I couldn't believe it. I said yes, and I absolutely loved it. So so we definitely enjoyed the Wednesday night, and then I was lucky enough to get another ride on the Friday as well. But it's a huge social occasion, and it's there's great fun to be had, and everyone's in the same frame of mind, and everyone's been looking forward to it all year, and yeah, it's a very special week.
Barry, did you ever end up with the 21 club in all those years riding at Cheltenham, all those winners, 43 winners?
I'd love to say I didn't.
Barry.
Yeah, I'd love to say I didn't, but no, there was 1 year in particular, the year in 2008 when the wind was bad and racing was called off, I think on the Wednesday. And we went for lunch, and lunch ran on a little bit late, and a bit late. And I turned up probably not the best for wear the following day to ride Finger on the Pulse. We managed to beat Mick Fitzgerald on Barbershop owned by the Queen in the next. And I can't say I was feeling my freshest that day. A few of us, we were all actually breathalyzed before racing, and a few of us, I'd say, just scraped through.
in the lead up to a Cheltenham Festival, Barry, is it like the All-Ireland final for a player? Like they're getting hassled for tickets. Are you just getting hassled for tips? Are you meeting people at the airport? Can you take it in your stride, or do you feel actually more pressure given the week that's in it?
It's about 28 All-Ireland finals. So there is pressure, but it's what you make of it. People coming up looking for tips, and you're going to have your armour of tips, if you like, what you want to give out and what you're going to say. So you have a good idea what you fancy. But lads love it. There's a great buzz. There's great atmosphere. You get into it all. You've grown up loving it, watching it. Now you're part of it, and you want to be involved too and enjoy it. And it is. There's pressure, but a lot of these things are out of your control as well. So you can get too caught up in the pressure and just maybe. Personally, I just lived in the moment and took it as it came.
Well, you're listening to our Cheltenham preview show here on Off the Wall with Paddy Power. Don't feel like a punter, feel like a favourite this Cheltenham. Let's hear one of Barry Geraghty's greatest days at Cheltenham.
Has about a length and a half on take to stand on the near side. The final fence, Kicking King, skims over 3 or 4 lengths clear and now getting away. And Barry Geraghty shakes him up the hill. Kicking King by 5 or 6 lengths to take the stand. It's going to be an Irish winner of the Tote Sport Cheltenham Gold Cup. Kicking King, kicking away to win.
Barry, what is that like? you've won the Cheltenham Gold Cup, you win the Champion Chase, you've won the Champion Hurdle so many times. What is that feeling like when you're coming up the hill and you're about to ride a big Cheltenham winner?
There's no better feeling in racing. That's what you grow up, you dream of these days, and you don't think they're ever going to happen. I won the Champion Chase in Moscow that year, and 2005 and King in the Gold Cup then. So that was magic, and we had a good night in the 21 Club that night.
And let's hear a bit of Katie Walsh's brilliance at Cheltenham as well.
Then down the outside from the rear, Relegate is coming with a wet sail, but it's still carefully selected as they race up the hill. Carefully selected, been out in front a long way, and Relegate is finishing off very quickly indeed in the black jacket under Katie Walsh. Relegate getting up, wearing down, carefully selected. They hit the line. Relegate wins the bumper.
What was that like, Katie?
Oh, it was very special. It was brilliant because I knew Willie had loads of runners in the bumper, as he usually does, and we were in the Parade Ring, and I was after winning the Good Mare's bumper honour at the Dublin Racing Festival, and I rode her handy that day. But when I went out into the ring in Cheltenham, I've been caught in the hustle and bustle of that bumper coming down the hill too many times, going a stride faster than what I wanted to be going, and knowing that I wasn't going to get up the hill, and knowing I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So one time I did want to just kind of hunt around and walk out towards the back and see what happens. So when I went out into the Parade Ring that day, Willie just said, listen, you know her, she's a small bit of a filly, do what you want. And I was like, I didn't need any more encouragement. That was my time to be able to walk out towards the back and hunt around. And now, don't get me wrong, when I was going up the back and she wasn't really taking me anywhere, I said, Jesus, I'm completely after doing the wrong thing here. But slowly but surely, she started to pick them off. And when she met the rising ground, she took off. I couldn't believe it. And obviously, to win the bumper as an amateur is huge. And it was a race that any amateur professional, doesn't matter, wants to ride a winner in Cheltenham. But to win the bumper was extra special.
And Rachel Blackmore on Tuesday, Katie's got the favourite in the Champion Hurdle, Honeysuckle. She's got a Plutarch in the Gold Cup. She's from Tipperary. This is a chance for racing to put its best foot forward this week. These great storylines. The sport has got a kicking. We can't ignore that of late. Last year and in recent times with these stories that have come out about Charles Burns, the negligence issue, the Gordon Elliott photo. This is a chance for racing to reset and put itself in the shop window in a positive way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all have a responsibility towards the sport, and it's a sport that we all love, and it's an industry that we all work in, and it's been so good to all of us. And I think there's a lot of positives that we need to take out of next week, and that we're all really looking forward to. The horses, the jockeys, someone's going to ride their first Cheltenham winner next week, and that's going to be really special for them. Yeah, I'll be definitely looking at Rachel with, I don't mean it in a I would love her to win the Champion Hurdle on Honeysuckle. I really, really would. I think she's got a massive chance. I think it's the consistency that the pair of them have produced over the last couple of seasons. The improvement that the pair of them have made over the last couple of years has been absolutely super. And I thought the last day, Rachel knows her like the back of her hand. And, to let her stride on crossing the road in Leopardstown the last day, and to see her just pick up, and, she's never going to be really flashy, but she gets down, and she's gutsy, and she just knows her really, really well. And I just hope that the pair of them can do it next Tuesday. I think it'd be great for Honeysuckle, and it'd be great for Rachel. It would just be, and be great for the Irish, be great for Henry, be great for everyone. So that's the one race I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, Barry, this is a chance for us to show the cream of the thoroughbreds, and for the sport to give it a bit of a reset to itself.
Oh, definitely. It's been a tough few weeks. But, it's a lot of that isn't a true reflection on the sport at all, because, everyone knows how much horses are loved and cared, and they have to be. And they have to be in those yards as well to get horses to perform at the top level. There's a lot of care, a lot of love. The staff, they're not paid massive money. It's an ordinary wage, and most do it for the love of the game. So that's where a lot of it comes from. And I think that really has to be remembered. But it's a brilliant week, and it is a great chance to showcase what is brilliant about racing.
And Paddy, you know these people so well. You deal with them. You dealt with them for 20 years. You would echo that, I'm sure.
100%. I mean, that's the thing. And the reality is, much as you kind of have to mention it because it's such a big story, it has been dealt with, and he has been, it's not like it's been some kangaroo court where it's brushed under the carpet. Racing's kind of stood up, and, Gordon Elliott, have sympathy for him because, he was treated sympathy for him, even though he obviously shouldn't have, the photo shouldn't have happened, or he shouldn't have been put himself in that position. But obviously he went through the ringer, but he did. He got put through the system and got his fine rather, and his ban, and will serve that, and that's job done. And Racing, I think, handled it pretty well, and I think that's actually a pat on the back for Racing as well to have dealt with it as well and as quickly as it has.
Katie, I'm interested in the horses that have left his yard, like Envo Allen, one of the best horses in training, gone to Henry de Bromheads. Some horses have gone to Willie Mullins. The new environment for these horses, will it affect their chances in any way of performing to their best next week, do you think?
Well, it wouldn't have helped them anyway. I think everyone would agree with that. It isn't ideal. Now, the only thing is that I don't know I think Envo Allen could move 5 times between here and Cheltenham, and he still won't have a problem next week. I think he's exceptional. It isn't ideal, but I think what he has to take on next week, I don't think it's going to affect him too much anyway. As for the rest of them, as I say, it's not something that you would set out to do, but I'm sure the market will reflect that. And I suppose we'll have to see what happens next week.
Barry, will it be any different for the horses, the fact that there's no crowds? Will some horses that might get a bit buzzed up, even more relaxed now? What's the difference going to be there?
Definitely. I think it'll affect more so the horse who's on edge, who gets a little bit tense, gets a little bit worked up, sweats up, the anxious horse. There is going to be a lot less of a buzz, obviously, and it'll be more like a day away, in another yard, if you like. There's not going to be that same level of tension about the place. So you'll find that horse will relax. Possibly the lazy type horse mightn't just get his blood up as much. So he might be back to his lazy ways that he would be at home. So it will affect horses slightly, and it's going to affect riders too, because there isn't the same, looking at 1,000 faces leaving the parade ring, and there's tension and excitement and nervous energy and everything. So it's going to be very different. And probably the worst of it all is for the fella who rides his first winner, or lady for that matter, coming back in front of the stands into the parade ring, the winner's enclosure. That buzz, the roar, you'll never match it. And you'll get a great roar. Would have always got a great roar riding an English winner. But if you ride a big Irish winner, you would not believe. They lift the roof. There's twice the roar for the Irish winner than there is for the English one. So it's to miss out on that is a big loss for any young rider having their first taste of a winner at Cheltenham, or even a big winner. So it's going to be very different.
Well, you're listening to our Cheltenham preview show here on Off the Ball with Paddy Power. Don't feel like a punter, feel like a favourite this Cheltenham. 53106 listeners and viewers, get your text messages in and get your questions into our panel about what you think will win next week, and what questions you have about horses that you might think have a specific chance. What are the do's and don'ts, Katie, about riding around Cheltenham for a jockey? Because it is quite a unique track.
I suppose that just depends, John, on what you're on. You know what I mean? I think everyone has a plan when they go down to the start. You might think the plan was always maybe to bounce out handy, or maybe the plan is to get a bit of cover. I suppose remember, it's a long way from the back of the last. That's all I know on the hurdle and the chase track. But yeah, I suppose they tend in Cheltenham and in English racing especially, they tend to get racing quite early. So, I mean, sometimes you just have to check yourself and remember we are a long way from home here, and take the conditions into it as well and see what the ground is riding. Are the front pack coming back? Have they been coming back all day? Are they stopping when they go down as far as the last? I mean, there's do's and don'ts, but that depends on so many things. Depends on the gallop to go, depends on the ground, depends on how you're travelling. Are you a weak finisher? Are you a strong finisher? So there's the one thing I will say, unless you're guaranteed to stay, I wouldn't be kicking from the top of the hill anyway. That's all I'll say.
Barry, what type of horse does well at Cheltenham? A strong traveller that can handle the bends and the uphill finish, I'd say.
That's it. You need something that's going to travel, sit comfortably, especially on the old course. The courses for the first few days, there's more of an emphasis on speed on that track. So you need a horse who can travel comfortably and then quicken off from 2 out of the turn in, just to be sitting in 4th gear. If you're in top gear, if you're in 5th gear coming down the hill over the 3rd last and 2nd last, you're going to struggle to find again in the straight, and you're vulnerable to a horse with speed. So there's more emphasis on speed on the first 2 days. And then the new course is a wider, more of a level track. the second last is a long way from home. It's probably 3.5 furlongs from the second last, and then over a furlong from the last. So you have a longer straight on the new course on the Thursday and Friday, so more emphasis on stamina and less on speed. So two very different tracks, but it's you need a good horse. That's pretty much it.
Okay, we've got to take a break. Back with more chat with Barry Geraghty, Paddy Power and Katie Walsh after the news. Listeners or viewers out there, any questions for our panel about Cheltenham 2021? 53106, the number for your text. Back after the news.
The Saturday panel on Off the Ball.
As Ireland's best-selling van, the Peugeot Partner ticks a lot of boxes. And with up to 1,000 kg payload, it carries them too. Choose from 2 body lengths, 1 or 2 sliding side doors, up to 3 seats, 5 levels of spec, and safety features like dynamic rear vision, which helps to eliminate blind spots. With hands-free Bluetooth and Peugeot's unique iCockpit interior, the Peugeot Partner is your perfect business partner. For details and flexible payment options, see Peugeot.ie.
Sean, what's that thing going round the garden?
That is our new Husqvarna Automower.
Automower?
Yeah, it's a robotic lawnmower from Husqvarna. Cuts the grass automatically, has GPS tracking and an app. Even works in the rain. I just thought, why spend time cutting grass when I could spend it with the family?
Great! You can put the dinner on, so...
No can do, love. Have to paint the man cave.
Husqvarna Automower. Never mow again. Learn more at husqvarna.ie.
At Energia, we're proud to be the power behind Irish rugby. And proud to keep bringing you great savings. To save the most, the best tactic is always to go direct to Energia. And you'll make your biggest savings when you switch to our cheapest dual fuel bundle. Always play it direct. Go to energia.ie or call 1850 300 700. Energia, the power behind your savings. EAB €1,413 based on average annual usage. 12-month contract, discounted unit rate, standing charge, BSO levy and carbon tax, T's and C's and early termination fee apply. Valid from February 2021 and subject to change. Verification and T's and C's at energia.ie/EAB.
InsureMyCars.ie. Make it a really good afternoon and check out the great car insurance discounts at InsureMyCars.ie. Ireland's trusted car insurance specialists. For super family savings, check out InsureMyCars.ie. City Financial Marketing Group Limited, trading as InsureMyCars.ie, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Join Betfair on the road to Cheltenham 2021. Irish racing's biggest names will once again be in the mix for the festival's biggest prizes and a place among national hunt racing's greats. And you can take your pick of the places with Each Way Edge on the Betfair Sportsbook app. Each Way Edge offers control over the number of Each Way places. Get on the road to Cheltenham with Each Way Edge from Betfair. T's and C's apply. Please gamble responsibly. 18 plus. See gamblingcare.ie.
This March, we are going back to America. Oh, hell no, Your Majesty. I am King Joffer, and you are the heir to the throne of Zamunda.
Put your hands together.
Presenting King Akeem's son from America.
This happened before we even met.
It's not like you're the first man I've been with.
What did you just say?
I'm a king. After 30 years, a king returns.
It is so good to see you.
Coming to America. Available now on Prime Video.
Let's make today a good day. Let the shutters up and the customers in. Let the team know I couldn't do this without them. Let me learn to let go, to trust. Let me give it my all. Let's do ourselves and the business proud. Right. Let's get to work.
At AIB, we know it takes a certain kind of brave to run a business. We see it and we back it with specialist teams dedicated to your business needs. Let's see what we can do for your business. AIB, we back brave. Lending criteria, terms and conditions apply. Allied Irish Banks plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Leaving Certificate and Leaving Certificate applied students due to take final examinations in 2021. You have the choice to sit the Leaving Certificate examinations or receive accredited grades from the State Examinations Commission, or both. You must register on the candidate portal and indicate your choice for each subject, confirming your subject levels. The candidate portal is now open until Tuesday, 16th of March at 6 p.m. at gov.ie/leaving certificate.
Missing the buzz of live Irish football? Watch the SSE Airtricity Premier Division with the Watch LOI Kickoff Pass. Watch the League of Ireland's exclusive online HD soccer streaming service with live commentary at home, on the go, or wherever you are. Sign up now for your Watch LOI kick-off pass from just €59. Go to watchloi.ie for more.
Welcome to Go Loud Jazz, the new home for jazz music in all its forms. Big band, bebop, smooth, and everything in between. Featuring a mix of new tunes and famous tracks by legendary artists, from Monk and Davis, Parker and Coltrane, to Ella and Billy. Go Loud Jazz. Fascinating rhythms. Download the Go Loud app now for free. Go Loud. Podcasts, radio, and music to your ears.
Be safe. Support local. Stay at home. Because it's up to us. Across Ireland. This is the IMRO Radio Awards National Station of the Year. This is News Talk.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Stephen Murphy. AstraZeneca has lowered targets for the delivery of its COVID-19 vaccine again, with Ireland getting 45,000 fewer doses than planned this quarter. The government's revised aim of 1.1 million doses before the end of March will still be met due to extra Pfizer jabs on the way. The Taoiseach met AstraZeneca's CEO last night to express disappointment and frustration with its changing delivery volumes. Minister of State for European Affairs Thomas Byrne says the company needs to live up to its commitments.
I think the Taoiseach is there, first of all, as a frustrated customer, really, because clearly what AstraZeneca have promised to deliver hasn't been delivered. The bottom line is, the Taoiseach was very clear that AstraZeneca need to comply with their contractual obligation.
Health officials are warning Ireland is in a precarious position as progress has slowed in tackling COVID-19. The 5-day average of cases is now 523, while there are 340 patients with the virus in hospital and 85 in ICU. NEFIT's Professor Philip Nolan says case numbers have hit a bump in the road, but is optimistic the disease can be brought back under control. Dr. Nuala O'Connor from the Irish College of GPs says people need to keep following the rules,
so that we can keep this virus suppressed, so that in another maybe 4 or 5 weeks we will have more options with regard to what we can do, but also remember, we'll get more vaccine into people.
A man in his late 30s has been arrested in connection with a fatal hit and run in County Mayo earlier this week. It happened in the Humbert Way area of Castlebar shortly before midnight on Wednesday. A man in his 40s was taken to Mayo University Hospital where he died due to his injuries. Investigations into his death are ongoing. The British police officer charged with the kidnap and murder of Sarah Everard has appeared in court for the first time. Wayne Cousins, who's 48, is accused of killing the 33-year-old who went missing while walking home in South London 10 days ago. He's been remanded in custody and is due back in court on Tuesday. And the Taoiseach will meet with the US President on Wednesday as part of his 3-day virtual St. Patrick's Day visit. Discussions between the two leaders will focus on the COVID pandemic, climate change and the shared ties between the US and Ireland. The traditional bowl of shamrocks will also be presented to President Biden as part of the visit. Other engagements over the coming days will include a meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris and Speaker Nancy Pelosi. It's 2 minutes past 2.
News Talk Weather.
Thanks to the AA. For our most competitive discounts on car insurance, go online to the aa.ie.
A breezy day with a mix of sunny spells and blustery showers. Some of them will be heavy with the risk of hail and isolated thunderstorms. Highest temperatures 5 to 8 degrees. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
The Saturday Panel on Off the Ball.
And this is Off the Ball Saturday on News Talk. John Duggan with you through until 5 o'clock. Our text number 53106. We're back with the Saturday panel previewing Cheltenham 2021 with Gold Cup champion hurdle and champion chase winning jockey Barry Geraghty from Meath, 43 festival winners, 3-time festival winner, the Irish Grand National winning jockey and a member of a racing dynasty, Katie Walsh from Kildare, and the man we want to take our money off over the next week, bookmaker Paddy Power. We're streaming the conversation as well, so as well as listening on News Talk, you can watch us on the Off the Ball social channels for Periscope and Twitter at Off the Ball, YouTube, Facebook, and we're also streaming as well on the OTB Sports app. Before we get into previewing each day, folks, just want to go through maybe the best race you've ever ridden in at Cheltenham, Barry, and the best race you've ever seen. What's the best one?
Well, personally, I suppose Bobsworth Gold Cup when he beat Sir de Champ and Long Run. So he was struggling at the back of the third last, and AP on Sir de Champ and Sam Whaley Cohn and Long Run kicked off the turn in, and Bobsworth was on the stretch, and I could just nurse him, and he found some bit of energy from somewhere at the back of the second last, and he went from being 4 lengths down to winning by 7 lengths. It was a brilliant performance, and it was a great race for me on a personal level. I suppose what I've witnessed over the years, Istabrack, Hurricane Fly, brilliant horses. Moscow was great for me too. So there's been lots of great days there for everyone in Cheltenham.
The best horse you've ever ridden, Barry, can you choose between Sprinter Sacker and Moscow Flyer?
No, simple no. But they are the best too.
Katie, the best race you ever rode in or witnessed at Cheltenham?
Oh, best race ever. I was lucky enough to ride in a lot of races at Cheltenham, to be fair. I suppose the best race, I don't really know how to answer that. I suppose for me, my first winner at Cheltenham, Pokes of all, winning the 4 mile was...
you beat Nina as well.
Well, regardless, I mean, it was a great day. It was something I thought would never happen. So many lads in the weigh room in Ireland and England don't get an opportunity to ride at the festival. So to have a festival winner was really special, and that was probably definitely my best day within racing. The best race I've ever seen. I've been lucky to be going to Cheltenham since 1997. Actually, this is the first year that I would have missed it. So I've seen loads of good races over the years, and probably be always following the Irish horses and the Irish jockeys, and with so much enjoyment with Ruby over the years as well, watching him with Cato Stars and all different types of horses. So John, I'm no good to you. Too many good.
That's a good answer. No, I remember that Poker de Civil because I couldn't see that finish was a great finish in that 4 miler. Like a long race, Katie. Like, did you feel you always had a chance in that race? Because it is a long way to go. It's like a Grand National distance.
Yeah, it was actually a lovely race to ride in, to be honest. Just one of those races where it all went right, and I got a good run everywhere. He wasn't really a strong traveller, but he loads of ability, and he was a second season novice as well. So he was a super jumper. He was absolutely awesome, and probably got there a little bit too soon, but we held on anyway, and it's lovely when it all goes right, John.
Paddy, the best race you've ever seen at Cheltenham?
Jesus, when the other two were talking there, I was thinking to myself, like, which one is it? I think it's probably, and I have to look it up on my phone there, I'm terrible at years, 2005, Hardy Eustace's second champion hurdle.
Yeah.
That was the one where Archibald was travelling all over everything and just found nothing, as always. And Archibald and Braving, and Hardy Eustace rather, and Braving, and Hardy just braved it. It was the first off the bridle, coming around the bend, on the rail, on the inside, and just managed to just keep his head in front. It was such a tough horse. And a lot of horses do come back and win again at Cheltenham, and Hardy was one of them, but he did it the hard way, and I thought that was a great race.
I'd agree with you completely, Paddy.
Great, Jesus, that's great. Brilliant, job done.
The good thing about this is now I can just sit back and just listen to you now, because we want the listeners and the viewers to be saying at the end of next week, did you hear Paddy Power or Barry Geraghty or Katie Walsh last week on Saturday on News Talking Off the Ball? They gave the winner of every single race at Cheltenham. So let's just start off with Tuesday. I wish it was as simple as that. Champion Hurdle Day, Tuesday. Let's start our preview of the week by looking at the Champion Hurdle. The going good to soft, the race going to post to 305. The odds with Paddy Power: Honeysuckle, the 9-4 favourite for Rachel Blackmore; Epatante, who you rode, Barry, last year to win the Champion Hurdle, 100 to 30. Goshen, 4-1. Abacadabra's 9-1. Silver Streak, Sharjah, Aspire Tower, 14-1. Fancy prices the rest. Barry, you won the race easily last year on Epatante. Would you swap her now? She did disappoint at Christmas.
She did disappoint at Christmas, but I'd forgive her that. I was speaking to Nicky, and he's very happy with her. He thinks she's in great form, and he's a brilliant man to train a Champion Hurdle winner, and he's brilliant to train a filly as well, because I don't think everyone can produce a filly as well as others, but Nicky does a great job. I think the ground is the key to the race, and Honeysuckle is a very good mare, but her win the last day in Leopardstown was in soft to heavy ground. Epatante won the Champion Hurdle last year on soft ground, which we thought was softer than ideal, and she got away with it. It looks like it's going to be slightly better than that, probably good to soft ground. So for me, I think Epatante has the edge on the going, and Sharjah, who was well beaten behind Honeysuckle last time in Leopardstown on very soft ground, as I mentioned, I think he's a good each-way bet on better ground. He was second in the race last year.
Okay, Sharjah each way, but obviously not deserting Epatante. Katie, if you had a ride in this race, would it be Honeysuckle?
Oh, absolutely. I love her. I think she's brilliant. She's just, as I say, she's not flashy, but she gets the job done. And I think there'll be no. They're going to go a good gallop in this race from the get-go, and she'll be in the box seat everywhere, and she'll be letting her roll, and she knows she stays, and she'll be the one I'd be most looking forward to next week if I was Rachel Blackmore.
Paddy Power, who do you fancy in the champion hurdle?
Right, well, I think it's going to be, I think it's almost race of the week for me, because I think there's some real quality horses. There are loads of them want to be ridden prominently, I think. So there's going to be loads of pace on. And these horses are so good, they'll be able to almost sprint for 2 miles. So I think what you're going to see is 4 or 5 in with a chance coming to the last. And one by one, they'll just fall away, or they're hard to be broken. And I actually agree with Barry. I think Epatante is one that can just sit just behind the pace, and it might suit horses finishing from the back. Like Abracadabra has been well tipped up the last few days, and Sharjah as well is a good shout for coming late and fast. But I think Epatante, having been there, done that, I think she's the one they all have to beat.
I think it was Desi User said once, Barry, that you have to jump the hurdles in the champion hurdle. You can't miss one. They go so fast.
Definitely. No, you need to be quick and slick, and she is that. The Honeysuckle does jump well, or she jumped well last time, but she can be maybe not as quick and slick as you might like. And I think that's why softer ground gives her a chance to sit in her comfort zone. Whereas on better ground, it's going to be an end-to-end gallop. And I'd be afraid for her that she's going to be in top gear, which is going to put her jumping under pressure. But you need to jump quick and slick, as I say. Hurricane Fly, Isterbrack, all those great horses, Hardy Eustace, they're like lightning of birds.
Okay, all three of you appreciated the hot favourite for the opening race, the Supreme Novices Hurdle, seen as a race which would normally give us an Irish banker. Is the horse an Irish banker on day one, KD Walsh? Appreciated?
I think he is. I think he's the one that we'd all would like to be on. I thought he was definitely better at Christmas time than what he was at the Dublin Racing Festival, but I think all the vibes seem to be good, and I think he's going to be the one that they're all going to have to pass.
He was second in the bumper last year to Fernie Hollow. Barry, is he a banker? Is he going to win?
I think he's vulnerable. He's 6-4 favourite or thereabouts. He's the best horse in the race, but a bit like Honeysuckle, he won in soft, heavy in Leopardstown. I just wouldn't be fully convinced that he has the natural speed for this. He's a horse that you'd want to have long term, and he's going to make a gorgeous chaser, but I'd imagine it will be over further. So I would be inclined to oppose him with Ballyadam or Soaring Glory each way. I think they'd be good value, probably 6 or 7 to 1. So I'd rather take the 6-4 and one of those finishing second or third than the 6-4 and appreciate to win it.
Paddy, are you with Katie or Barry in this one?
I'd be with Barry on this one, actually. The issue with Appreciate is you're trying to find one to beat it, and I guess like a lot of it's ground dependent. Like Métier is second favourite, is a French-bred horse and wants very soft ground, but so does Appreciate it probably, but we don't know. But I think it's very short odds. It might be bigger actually come the day, because the bookies all go mad to try and go big price in the first race. So I'd maybe wait till the day. If you're going to back Appreciate, you might get a bit bigger in the 11 to win at the moment. Ballyadam, the big question mark has the move of stable had an impact on it. Now there's a lot of ground to make up and appreciate it from earlier runs in the season, but at the same time on better ground. So I think Ballyadam was the one I'd probably go. Soaring Glory, who won the Betfair Hurdle and the John Joe O'Neill horse, I think probably has to improve maybe a little bit too much. Could easily be placed though. But I tend to agree with Barry that Ballyadam could be one that just could come alive with a bit of good lively ground.
Okay, to all three of you, we've got Shishkin, odds on for the Arkle Chase. We've got Concertista, who won last year, odds on for the Mares Hurdle. Anything to beat these two horses in your view, Katie Walsh?
Well, I thought Siskin, I didn't really know how he was going the last day, but actually when he picked him up when he turned in, he came alive. And I thought he was going to be a massive danger, even with Energy Mean out now. I think he was going to really put it up to him. So for me, off the back of that, I would have to go with Siskin, to be honest. Concertina, she's very consistent when she gets there. She's been good there before. And no, I can't. Are all these horses going to win?
No.
Probably not. But it's very hard to oppose them all the same. It's very hard to find something out of the pack that is going to get their head in front. I'd be a Siskin fan anyway. And yeah, to Concertina, if you told me I could ride something in the race, I'd be riding her.
Okay. Barry, do you agree? Do you think they're both nailed on to win, Shishkin and Concertista?
I think so. They're rock solid. Shishkin's been very good. He was good in the Supreme last year. Maybe a little bit of value for an Irish horse, Captain Guinness, in the Arkle. I think he's an each-way shout. He was running well in the Supreme, but he was brought down at the second last. And he was beaten behind an Orgamine on very heavy ground in Nace. I think he wants better ground, so I think you'll see a good run from him, but I couldn't oppose Concertista with anything really. I think she's rock solid.
Paddy, can you give us anything as an alternative to these horses? Are you with Barry and Katie that you believe they'll both win?
I think Shishkin will win, and I think it's a shame because that was going to be a real proper Ireland versus England ding-dong battle with an Ergamy. So it's not happening, so there's no point in crying over spilt milk. But so I think Shishkin will win. But Concertista, even though it makes no sense because her first ever run over hurdles, she got touched off in the Mayor's Novice. She won it last year. So 2 visits to Cheltenham. She was the most impressive winner of the week last year. She absolutely hosed up. But I'm still going to go against her. And I don't know why I am, but I just have a feeling that she might get turned over. And Black Tears is the one that finished, beaten just a 2 or 2.5 lengths in the Coral Cup. I think Barry might have rode the winner, did you? In the Dame de Campagne last year. And that was giving weight away as well. So it has some course form as well. And that was a kind of a rough and tumble handicap. So maybe Black Tears might be a bit more battle hardened and could give Concertista something to think about.
Paddy Power, we know you're a great judge. You've been doing this such a long time. You hear everything. You're a bookmaker. Have you got anything each way for us in the handicaps on the Tuesday?
There's actually, do you know what? In the Ultima, which is the handicap that it's the breather before the champion hurdles. You start with the Supreme and the Arkle, and you're going, jeez, this is amazing. And then they give you a breather of a kind of a relatively long distance handicap to kind of calm down and get ready for the champion hurdle. And actually, the Dan Skelton horse, Al Nadam, I think, has a decent chance in there. It's about 16 to 1. I'll check for you now. It's called the Ultimate Chase. It's the 3rd race in the first day. And it is, where are we going? Where has he gone? Al Nadam is 14 to 1. So I think that's a good each way shout maybe in that handicap. Okay.
Wednesday, Chacun Pour Soi, even money favourite with Paddy Power for the Wednesday's Champion Chase, 3:05 start time. Bidding to give Willie Mullins, based in Carlow, his first ever win in the race. It's hard to believe. Next in the betting, Altior 6 to 1. Last year's winner, Politologue, Nuba Negra are 8 to 1. And Put the Kettle On for Henry Bromhead is at 10 to 1. Casey, Chacun Pour Soi, jumps well, has got load of speed. Is he bomb proof? Is he going to win?
Yeah, once again, I mean, I thought his most impressive performance was probably the last day. I thought that was a really good performance to beat Notebook and Fracadadari in the style in which he did it. I questioned his Christmas run, especially the last maybe 150 yards, but he fairly put that to bed the last day. I thought he was exceptional. Yeah, obviously he got there last year and he was taken out the morning of the race. He's the one they all have to beat, but I do think, I don't know what price Celius Emery is, but I thought he was very good the last day, and I think if he runs in this, he could be a good each way value.
Okay, that's the Willie Mullins trained horse, Celius Emery, in the Luke McMahon colours, the kind of the yellow and the purple colours. That could be an outsider for Katie Walsh against the favourite Chacun Pour Soi. Barry, you know this race like at the back of your hand, Sprinter Sacre, Moscow Flyer. Would you want to be riding Chacun Pour Soi or something else?
No, Chacun Pour Soi, I wouldn't think about it. He's head and shoulders above the rest. I think Altior is the next best. He's proven at this level, but I think the remainder have to really step up on what they've done. Even Politologue last year's winner probably wasn't a strong renewal last year when between defections and definitely deciding not turning up on the day. So no, I think Chacun Pour Soi is rock solid, but Altior next best. And I'd agree with Katie, maybe some value in Celius Emery.
Are you in the Chacun Pour Soi camp, Paddy Power?
No, I mean, obviously most likely winner and all that, and even money favourite, and that's on the form book. It's quite obvious it should turn up, and if all goes to plan, should win. But hasn't done it around Cheltenham yet. That's a small doubt in my mind. And I love horses for courses, so I'm going for an each way one. I Put the Kettle On, who won the Arkle last year, has to make up about a mile that he finished behind, beaten by Chacun Pour Soi, Leopardstown, but a little bit of better ground and loves the track, was really brave and great jump and great win in the Arkle last year. So I think Put the Kettle On, he's a Cheltenham horse, and I think that might just be getting the money definitely, and maybe just trouble the favourite.
I watched all the Grade 1s the other day just to get a bit of research done. I've seen the most of the races anyway, but Katie Walsh, Monkfish, this horse, like, they should already be having paintings dedicated to it. The way this horse jumps and travels, like, absolutely majestic. I can't see it being beaten on Wednesday, can you?
No, I can't, but nor can I see Envy Allen being beaten either. You know what I mean? I think they're the two, we're both where everyone's looking forward to seeing those two horses run, but they're by far the two weakest races of the week, to be honest with you. I think the race we're all really looking forward to is next Christmas when you see Envy Allen and Monkfish, to be honest with you. But yeah, Monkfish looks exceptional. He looks really straightforward. Saw him walking around the parade ring last year in the herd race, and he was big and he was raw and he was narrow, and now he's anything but. He's strengthened up and he's qualityed up, and he got the job done last year. And I didn't think when he left the parade ring I couldn't have him, and he got the job done. Now he goes there a bigger, stronger beast, and with the season he has under him, I just can't wait for next Christmas, John.
Yeah, we could be looking at a Gold Cup in the future, Barry, with Envoy Allen and Monkfish in opposition against each other.
Yeah, they're two. We're blessed to have such classy horses like that. It's a brilliant year for novice chasers with Shishkin and American. I mean, obviously he's not going to be there, but Monkfish and Envoy Allen, they're top class. And as Katie said, they've frightened away the opposition. I'd say anything half decent is gone for handicap or it's ducking somewhere else, but there's no point taking on these horses.
It's not going to happen, Paddy, that Monkfish, Envoy Allen, all these horses just win. Cheltenham throws up strange results. The horse could fall, it could be brought down, might not run to its best. But can you oppose Monkfish or Envoy Allen at all this week?
No, I mean, you kind of hope these horses win, because racing is a funny thing like that. Like, you nearly get more excited about the novice races than you do about Alboon Photo going for 3 Gold Cups in a row, because it's all about the future. It's always about, like, the bumper. You always hear a whisper for what's in the last race of the day, because it's a young horse coming through that could be anything. But yeah, Monkfish is one to just sit back and enjoy. I hope it all goes to plan. Has to jump the fences and everything, obviously, but it looks like it's a proper machine. And Envoy Allen as well. I mean, I guess the only danger is the change of stable and all that kind of stuff. But just last year, I thought Envoy Allen was so taking the way. It just looked to be a little bit in trouble coming towards the second last, I think. And then it's like Davy Russell just kind of shook the reins for a second. Within 2 strides, it was like a sprinter just coming up sides and jumped the last and jumped into the lead. It was really, really impressive, the turn of foot. And just the two of them just have proper big engines, and they're horses for the future, definitely.
53106, your text messages. Oh, Barry and Paddy, why did you say what you said about appreciate it? I've got it back since last November, says Andrew in Cork. Well, Andrew, you still have a chance. He's still the favourite for the Supreme Novices Hurdle. Katie, on the second day, the opening race is the Ballymore Novices Hurdle. We've got Bob Ollinger, Geyer de Menil, a Brave Man's Game at the head of the market. What do you like here?
I like Bob Ollinger. I think he's been very consistent and very good. Willie's horses, obviously, he's good as well. But sorry, going back to appreciate it for a second, they could have gone either way with this horse, but everyone kind of says he looks like he wants to trip. But I remember when he pulled up with Paul at Christmas time, Paul said this horse isn't as slow as what people think. So I think he's got more pace than what people think he has as well. But sorry, back to the Ballymore Novices. Yeah, I like Bob Ollinger. I think he's been good. Henry's horses are flying, and he's been consistent. And I like with the style in which he's done it. He's bumped into a couple of really good horses as well along the way. And I think this could be a good week for Henry as well. His horses couldn't be in better order.
What do you like in this race, Barry? The Ballymore Novices Hurdle?
I like Gaylord de Mesnil. Bob Ollinger has been good and he's impressive. I thought Blue Lord, who was second to him in Naas, he ran very keen, and he was the horse for me to take out of the race. And I'd love to see Blue Lord going here, but as far as I know, he's going to go for the Supreme. But I thought Gaylord de Mesnil travelled really well in Leopardstown. The ground was very soft. Took him a little bit to pick up, but I think he'd be better on better ground. And interesting, Willie took him out of the Albert Bartlett and left him only in this race, where he left appreciated in the previous knockout stage, if you like. He left appreciated in here. He left the option, so he's adamant about this fella in this race. I like him. I think he'll be better ground.
And Barry, what's yours? Paddy, what's your selection in this race, the Ballymore Novices Hurdle?
Funny, I want to hear Barry talk about all the French horses because I love his pronunciations. But I think Geyer de Menil is. It didn't seem like it was that strongly fancied, but it absolutely hosed up at the Dublin Racing Festival. That's really one I have on my short list. Brave Man's Game, Paul Nichols has said, reminds him of Denman, which is kind of a great endorsement, even though Denman got beaten this race. But I quite like Bear Gills. It's a much less sexy kind of profile. It's about a 10 or 12 to 1 shot. I just think for each way, just been quietly just winning its races very impressively. And now it's obviously a big step up against the big boys. But I think Bear Gills has a decent each way chance at big odds.
It's ended Leeds 0, Chelsea 0 in the Premier League, just to let you know, folks. Any outsiders in the handicaps either on Tuesday or Wednesday, Katie, that you might want to give us? If no problem if you don't.
Coral, doesn't Nichols have a horse in it?
Is it Sansonnet, is it, maybe?
No. Hang on a second now. I'll find it, John. Put me under pressure.
Oh, it's all right. We might just come back to you there, Katie. Barry, do you have anything for the handicaps?
I like Busselton in the Boodles, Bedwinter. I think he's a squeak. Joseph's horses are in get back into good form, and they do better and better ground. And although not a big price, I like Grand Rye in the car. He's 7 to 1 favourite, I think.
And Katie, do you have the Paul Nicholls horse there?
No, I'm looking at the wrong day. That's my biggest problem.
Paddy,
come back to me, John.
Yeah, no problem. Paddy, on Wednesday.
Yeah, on Wednesday in the Carroll Cup, you raised me up to Martin Brassel horse is one that kind of had my eye on and been tipped up by Frank Hickey, and work here is a good judge. So I'll pretend it was my tip, but it's his tip. But if it wins, it's mine.
Okay, you're listening to.
Sorry, I'm on about the Boodles juvenile on the Tuesday. Hawkscree, is it Hawkscree?
Yeah, that's right. Paul Nicholls. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought there's been plenty of chat, and it seems to be coming quite positive for him. So I'm not too sure what price he is, but there's good word about.
Okay, we'll keep a note of that one. You're listening to the Cheltenham Preview Show here on Off the Ball with Paddy Power. Don't feel like a punter, feel like a favourite this Cheltenham. 53106 for your text messages. We got Paddy Power, Barry Geraghty and Katie Walsh joining us. Let's look at Thursday, folks. Paddy Power Stairs Hurdle Day. Odds-wise, Paisley Park 15-8 favourite. Sarah de Burley is 9-2. Roxana 5-1. Florine Porter 7-1. Lisnagar Oscar Vindication 8-1. Fury Road and the Storyteller 10-1. Paddy, you're sponsoring the race. What's going to win it?
Yeah, it's a shame. Time Hill it just came out. Like there was a bit of a dirty day yesterday when a couple of horses came out of Cheltenham. I mean, after Energumene news as well. But Time Hill came out, which is a shame because it was going to be quite a head-to-head with the two of them with Paisley Park. But Paisley Park is favoured, like you said, 15-8. I think a little bit short, to be honest. Was really disappointing in the race last year. Had one with the previous year. We just got well beat last year, and no real excuse. I think afterwards, maybe the horse didn't. I'm not sure we didn't scope on it. There was maybe some small issue with him, but I think he just was beaten fair and square in the day. So that's a worry for me. You've Sarah de Burley as a handicap winner. Flooring Porter, who I think is the best named horse going to Cheltenham this year, because it's what we all miss doing at the moment, Flooring Porter, and I think that'd be lovely for Gavin Cromwell if Flooring Porter could win. But I actually think Vindication is one. It's a horse that we expected to run over fences, but now I think because of Time Hill going, has taken its chance in the Stayers Hurdle, has a really decent hurdles form in his back pocket, and I think Vindication at about 8 or 9 to 1 would be one you wouldn't have even thought of a week or two ago, but is in there and is planning to run, and I think has a cracking each way chance about 8 or 9 to 1.
Be a nice story, wouldn't it, Katie, if Jonathan Moore and Gavin Cromwell won on Flooring Porter?
Yeah, it would be. I just don't know if it's going to happen, to be honest with you. He's a horse that has to make the run, and he's extremely free. And I don't know, I think the last day maybe he might have gotten his own way. Lads kind of really didn't fancy him. It was a bit of a shock, and they didn't chase him. I think he won't get that in Cheltenham. There'll be horses breathing down his neck every step of the day, and you're going to have to be exceptional. I like the horse actually that won it last year. I thought he could run on Haydock the last day, this Lisnagar Oscar. And I thought he ran a cracker the last day, and I thought he won fair and square last year. And he seems to be a spring horse as well, so I'm going to go for him.
Lisnagar Oscar for Katie Walsh in the Stairs Hurdle. Barry, you rode Sarah de Burley to win last year at Cheltenham. Would you be wanting to be on him again?
I think he has a chance. He does need to improve. He disappointed a little bit at Christmas when Gordon's horses just weren't flying. But he won the Pretense last year with top weight, which isn't an easy task. He's entitled to be in this company, but he's not maybe proven at the very top level. But I think Paisley Park and what he's done this year is by beating Time Hill in Ascot. Time Hill possibly got to the front a little bit early, but likewise, Paisley Park got caught in traffic turning in and did really well to win from there. I think he's the best horse in the race. I suppose the slight negative is he's been to 3 Cheltenham festivals and he's only turned up once. He disappointed last year, but he had a regular heartbeat reported afterwards, and he disappointed 2 years before that. So on form, I think he is the best and he's the one to beat. And if he produces his best on the day, he's a good price, I think, at 50 days.
Okay, Paisley Park for Barry Geraghty in the Stairs Hurdle. The Ryanair chase should be great. Willie Mullins has got 3 really good, strong chances, Katie. He's got Allaho, Min, Mellon. Which of those do you like, or do you like anything else?
I like Mellon, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of Allaho, and I don't really know why. I like Mellon. I think he was very good at Christmas time. He jumped and he travelled. He'd be ridden handy. I think the trip should suit. He didn't take part there at Dublin Racing Festival when he was dropped in, and he looked big coming up past the stands the first time. But definitely, I thought at Christmas time he was absolutely super. He's operated around. He's very consistent around Cheltenham anyway. He always runs his race, and I know maybe he doesn't get his head in front too often, but he's a good horse, and I think this could could be his chance. It could be his day.
Do you agree, Barry? Will Mellon finally do it at Cheltenham after all those second places?
His run in Leopardstown at Christmas would win. But for me, Mellon just doesn't have a habit of turning up every day. So if his best foot forward, I think he's probably the one they have to beat. I'd agree with Katie. Allaho, I like him, but I'm not just fully convinced about him. I thought Facker de Rees ran really well behind Shaq and Postoir, and I think he's good value each way, maybe at 8-1.
And Paddy Power, what's going to win the Ryanair Chase?
Well, I think if the ground, the forecast is okay for the week, so if the ground keeps drying, I think Mr. Fisher is one that will probably tighten up. It's about 8-1 for an each way. Because I think the fact that you got the 3 Willie Mullins horses at the top of the market, which is, I think it's kind of interesting and just, it's hard to pick one from the other, which suggests that maybe none of the 3 will win. I mean, Allaho is the one I'd have my eye out of those 3. But I think Mr. Fisher is one that will just come alive for better ground, and I'd be keen on that one.
Yeah, I don't want to put you too much on the spot, folks, but anything in the handicaps that you like on before we move on Thursday, Barry?
On Thursday, Champagne Platinum ran well in Haydock when he was second, I thought. He runs into Pertemps. And no, that would be kind of it for Thursday.
And Katie, anything you like on Thursday? No worries if not, on the handicaps?
I like Hook Up in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. I thought she was brilliant in fair areas the first day, and she's kind of coming in here under the radar. So for me, I think she's got a bit more to come.
And that's Hook Up for Willie Mullins, trained in the colours of Rich Ritchie in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. That is on Thursday. Paddy Power, give us another handicap winner, will you, on Thursday?
Another one, because I've given you about 3 already.
I know, yeah, why not?
The Kim Muir, I like Hold the Note for Mick Channon. It looks to be pretty well handicapped. It was third in Novice Handicap Chase last year. Loves a trip, so the Kim Muir is a trip. And likes Cheltenham, which again is all important. Hold the Note. The good news is, folks, there is a podcast of this chat, so all these winners will be logged and will be articles and all these kind of things before we finish up with Barry Geraghty, Paddy Power and Katie Walsh on Cheltenham Preview 2021, the Gold Cup. Album photo, sometimes I wonder, does he get the respect he deserves? He's won 2 Gold Cups, Best Mate, Cottage Rake, Arkle, Golden Miller. I can't think of any other horses won 3. He's bidding to do the same. Odds-wise with Paddy Power, 5-2 favourite. Champ next, 9-2. A Plutarch, 5-1. Manila Indo, 9-1. Bar that. Katie, tough horse, good acceleration, album photo. Can anything get past him?
That's me. Sorry,
Katie. Yeah, no problem. Album photo. Do you think he's going to do it? The hat trick?
Sorry, John. Yeah, I think his biggest danger is Champ, to be honest with you. No, he doesn't get the recognition he deserves, because you don't see him that often. You know what I mean? You see him Tremor, you see him at the Gold Cup, you see him Tremor, and you see him at the Gold Cup. But that seems to be a recipe that works, and I suppose if it's not broken, don't fix it. People kind of get behind horses that you consistently see at all the festivals and that you see all the time, and you just don't see him as often, so he doesn't quite have the following, say, of something like a horse like Native River. But yet next week I think he's the horse that I think most people would want to be on. I think there's going to be a good gallop in this year's Gold Cup, which I think is going to suit him. The reports seem to be good. Everyone seems to be over the moon with him. So I think he's going to be the horse they all have to beat. I think the only horse that could beat him, that might beat him, is Champ. I'm sure that Barry will have more to say about that, but I thought Champ was good the last day. I think if he was ridden handy, maybe Barry might disagree, but I think he could be the one that might put it up to him.
Barry, is Champ going to lower the colours of Album Photo in the Gold Cup in your view?
I think he's the best chance of doing it of any of them. He dropped back to 2 mile the last day. When I won him in Cheltenham last year, he struggled. His jumping at the time wasn't as good as it should be or could be. So he scrambled around in the RSA and he flew home just to get up late on. If you asked me that day when I got off, and the next time this fellow will be in a 2 mile chase in Newbury and he'd win it, I'd have laughed at you. But I think that was just a reflection of his well-being, that he could drop back to the 2 mile and jump as well as he did. So they've done a lot of work with him. Henrietta Knight had him for a lot of schooling, and Nicky's worked hard on him, but I think it was a good reflection of his well-being. The only slight negative is that run over 2 miles possibly could just switch him on a little bit and make him a little bit keen. when horses get used to racing at a higher tempo, it's just maybe a little bit more difficult to get them to relax. So if he settles somewhere in the midfield, I think he's a big danger to Album Photo, and possibly a horse who was maybe a shade unlucky with a slowly run race last year, Santini. Now he's a little bit hit and miss, but he's run well at Cheltenham before. He won the Cotswold Chase, and he was only touched off in last year's Gold Cup off slow pace. And he'd appreciate the better ground that he'd get in Cheltenham that he hasn't had all season. So I think he's a sneaky little each way chance.
But if you had to call it one horse, one word, Barry, is it Champ?
It's hard to oppose the favourite. He's been there and he's done it twice, Album Photo, but Champ is the up-and-coming horse. And if I was in Cheltenham, that's the one I'd be riding, and I'd be very happy.
Do you have a strong opinion on the Gold Cup, Paddy?
Yeah, I was kind of always fancy Manila Indo each way, but been kind of disappointing in the prep races for the Gold Cup. But still, I wouldn't write him off because he goes so well at Cheltenham. But I think Album Photo, I think we're all trying to overcomplicate things. Album Photo's won a fast run Gold Cup 2 years ago, slowly run Gold Cup last year. Comes there lightly raced the way Best Mate used to. Best Mate was 8-11, I think, to win his third. Album Photo's 9-4 to win his third. I think it's a decent price, to be honest. I think Album Photo is the most obvious one. And sometimes if it quacks, it's a duck.
Yeah, absolutely. What else we like on Friday? We got the Triumph Hurdle, Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle, Hunter's Chase, Mare's Chase. Anything stand out, Katie?
I like Alan King's horse in the Triumph. I thought he was very good the last day. See the Moon horse, and I know that obviously we have Gordon's. What's Chestnut horse of Gordon's? The Nathaniel horse, the favourite. Yeah, Zanahiyr. He's been exceptional as well, but I must say I was taken back by Alan King's horse the last day, and I thought he was really good. So I think this could be a hot enough triumph, and I think this might go the way of the English.
Anything else you like on the Friday, Barry?
No, I agree with Katie. The Triumph Hurdle, I've been riding Zanahiyr all his work. He's a very good horse, but I think Tritonic is very good. The two horses with big futures, so they're going to be hard to split. A horse in the Albert Bartlett that I thought was good each way value is 3 under through 5. Paul Nichols trains him. He's won his last 4. I think it's a wide open race, and he is into the 16-1. He was 20s there, so there's money for him. 3 under through 5. 16s now, yeah.
And Paddy, did you like anything else on the Friday?
Yeah, funny. I was looking at Choreograph in the Albert Bartlett, and one just to mention, I think Ellie May in the Mare's Chase later on the day in the second last race. The race looks tailor-made for her now. I know Colreevy's going to go against her to make a real race, but Ellie May, I think, is another relatively short price favourite that'll probably oblige.
Katie, who wins the bumper? Is it Kilcruit?
I like Kilcruit, even though there's a lot of people that can't have him. I thought he was exceptional 11% the last day, and I know if he was able to go next week, Patrick, I think that would be his pick, which is always a good sign. And yeah, you know, I thought he was really good the last day. He's a horse I think that they all have to beat. I like Stalker Wallace and Hunter's Chase as well. I thought he was good and nice the last day. He finished second, but I think he'll come on from that run as well. He wasn't knocked about, and they'd be my picks for Friday.
And Barry, who's going to win the bumper?
Yeah, it's tricky. 3 Stripes Life could be a little bit of each way value. Sir Gerhard going from Gardens to Willys. You don't know what way he's going to turn up. Maybe Kilcruit won on very soft ground, so I'm not fully sure. I thought a horse in the Kim Muir, which is on the Thursday, is 11-year-old Shantou Flyer. He's down from 140 from 159. Paul Nichols now has him. I think he's worth having a look at in the Kim Muir, the last race on the Thursday. He is a good price, I'd say.
Paddy, who's going to win the bumper?
The bumper for me, I'm going against the top 2 in the market. It looks like a match between Sir Gerhard and Kilcruit, but I think I'm going to go for Dan Skelton's L.A. Bell at 25-1.
An English winner of the bumper. Okay, folks, the great thing about podcasts is, and articles on our social channels and all this kind of thing, is that we'll be able to listen back to this because there's so many horses, so much information, so much great information you've given us. We really appreciate your time over the last hour. Paddy Power, Katie Walsh and Barry Geraghty. We're going to wrap it up soon. Just to finish off, folks, I really hope you enjoy the week. I hope you enjoy the week in front of the telly. And enjoy Cheltenham 2021. What is your nap of the week, your horse to follow for the week, and your each way selection? I'm going to put you on the spot, Katie Walsh. Your nap and your each way.
My nap is Monkfish, and my each way is Fakadari. I didn't think he was knocked about the last day behind Shaq and Persois and Notebook, and he's operated around there before, and I can't see him out the first 3.
And that's in the Ryanair Chase on the Thursday, Katie Walsh. Barry Geraghty, the nap and the each way.
The nap is chacun pour soi, and the each way is 3 under through 5.
Very good, and that's what we all hope to have in the golf course when they allow golf to be played again. And Paddy Power, the nap and the each way?
I'm a bit worried about my nap now because Barry rides it in all its work and didn't tip it in the race. The Try and Fertile Zana here is my nap of the week, and my each way is put the kettle on the champion chase.
Very good. Well, you've been so generous to give us your time today, Paddy Power, Barry Geraghty and Katie Walsh. Stay safe, enjoy the week, and hopefully we'll speak soon.
Cheers, John.
Cheers, John.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Thanks so much, folks. Enjoy the week, and we're back with more on Off the Ball Saturday on News Talk back after this.
The Saturday Panel on Off the Ball.
Sean, what's that thing going round the garden?
That is our new Husqvarna Auto Mower.
Auto mower?
Yeah, it's a robotic lawnmower from Husqvarna. Cuts the grass automatically, has GPS tracking and an app. Even works in the rain. I just thought, why spend time cutting grass when I could spend it with the family?
Great! You can put the dinner on, so...
No can do, love. Have to paint the man cave.
Husqvarna Auto Mower. Never mow again. Learn more at husqvarna.ie. How do you put a value on real expertise? How do you put a value on the training, experience